good. I'll take it.
Welcome back to TCC Cars. I'm Brian.
I'm Craig.
And this week we've got something that we freaking are excited about. If you followed our main channel, Texas Truck Channel, we've been to the launch of this vehicle. We've driven it in Northern California, Sonoma, and all. We've been to the unveilings in Los Angeles. And we've driven the inline six, both on our hill and our road test. But this is the first time we've driven the plug-in hybrid, the PHEV, or the PHEV, which is covered quickly on the interior, exterior. And we're going to go drive this thing. We're going to do 0 to 60 with it in sport mode, using both the 2.5 liter four-cylinder and the hybrid powertrain, and EV only 0 to 60, just because we want to. But let's cover exterior. Now, I just got off the unveiling of the CX-90, Craig, which, spoiler alert, it's the same thing as this, but it has some vents right here, which I do think looks sportier if you have something to occupy the space, because it's kind of big and bulky. But it works as it is. And I was talking to the Mazda guys in California, and I got some good intel. Turns out, Craig, when we went to the launch this, we kept thinking, man, the Telluride and Palisade buyer, they may not come to this. There's not enough interior room, blah, blah, blah. Turns out they're not. The X5 BMW crowd's coming this way. They are selling tremendously more on the upper end trims, and the lower trims are actually probably going to fall off in the next couple of years because they're just not selling them. So they're going to consolidate and go for the luxury market. It's doing very well. They're very successful. Headlights. They've gotten compact. They're not this big thing. Craig talks about that a lot, how headlights have gotten smaller. I like this because these follow typical Mazda fashion. They're great LEDs. The blinkers are on for a reason, because I want to show the heartbeat of this thing. I love how the blinkers have this kind of strobe with a heartbeat pulse. They're not just on off, they fade up and fade down. It's really cool. I like that a lot. Now the grille is slightly different between the PHEV and the inline six. The inline six has a little bit bigger openings, like there's more openings here on the inline six, and then the inline six also has the tow package option for a bigger radiator and transcooler. This does not have that. Max towing on this guy is 3,500 pounds.
It's not bad.
Not bad. Yeah, it gets it done. Now, wheels and tires. These wheels are, in my personal opinion, they're just too big and they don't look particularly nice. I actually think the lower trim that has a silver painted 20-inch wheel looks really, really good. I would actually swap this down if I could after I bought one of these. I'd keep this trim, but I would go down if I could. And the reason why is a 21-inch wheel with a static shock just doesn't ride great on city bumps and that kind of stuff. Handles fine, good lateral grip, the things that Mazda is really chasing, but you pay for it around town, I just don't think it's worth it. It does wear Falcon highway tires, which are perfectly quiet and grip great. They're fine. It's kind of an all-weather tire, no problems there. Now, because of Instagram, we have some cladding that is flat black, which I think is totally fine here, because it helps with parking lots and door dings, and it kind of prevents that stuff. We've got the here, so you know it's not an inline six. Down to the mirror, you've got an integrated blinker, which I like as well. Coming up top, this is where the CX-70 and 90 differ. There's a polished roof rail instead of black. CX-70 also gets a black painted door handle and things like that. All the trim, the chrome was gone on the 70 because it's kind of a sport model. Let's check out back, Craig. What do we have over here? Ah, freaking Mazda. Okay, there we go. Traditional fuel cap, not capless. I wish it was capless, but it does have a holder. So there's that. All right, coming around the back, we have just a hatch. I think it's very handsome though. You've got the blinkers in the back. You can tell it's an e-Skiactiv PHEV. The inline six has a different badge. And down below there's no hitch installed at all because this doesn't have the tow group on this one. But you could, again, tow 3,500 pounds. Let's see what it sounds like. Kind of sounds like a Mazda 3. I'm okay with that. Let's check that motor out.
Yeah.
All right, boys and girls, the reason why I like this version the most is what's under the hood. Let's check it out. Ooh, hood struts, I like that. And it's a lot of plastic, but I want to show the people this really cool latch that Mazda has. So when you want to come look at your goods,
It has to be the most unique.
there you go. Very Mazda to have like this latch system. And you can tell the motor is super far back. And right here is the strut tower. Tell me that's not mid-front engine.
Oh,
I mean,
totally,
come on.
Yeah.
So when you see this with the inline six, it just comes this way more. That's the only difference. Something I do want to point out is that this makes 323 horsepower with the hybrid and the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated four cylinders straight from a Mazda 3 without a turbo. It makes 369 torque because that giant EV motor in the back. Now, what does the inline six give you? 340 horse and identical torque. This is the one to get, I think, for me. Also, because of powertrain updates, we're going to talk about that in a minute. There's been a big deal with that. They've actually updated the powertrain calibration on the transmission because if you've watched our old episodes, we had a real problem with that. And I'm glad that's mostly solved.
Time to check out the interior of the PHEV. Not a whole lot different than the other CX-90s we reviewed, but let's look at it anyways because we've got a little bit different trim in here and I want to show you all that. Also, there's a really trick feature that changes the whole model of this. First off, you got some room back here, plenty of good room for your plug. You're gonna need this.
Yep.
Need this. More on that in a minute. But one of the things that does, Brian, the most important thing about this is it gets you this. Look at this. You get not 400 watts.
1,500.
400 watts does nothing.
That's
okay.
That's a laptop.
1,500 watts. Here's what I can do with 1,500 watts. I can get my organic fair trade coffee beans and grind them, and then I can actually brew them with a brewer. So that's what 1,500 watts gets you. That's important. Under here, let's see what kind of room we have.
Oh, Craig, we had a comment recently being very angry about us not showing their spare tire on the CX-70 review. It's a Yokohama donut underneath there. It's not worth pulling out. There's a lot of crap to get out of the way. It's a 185/55 tire.
There you go. Thank you for the feedback. All right, secret feature of the CX-90 most people don't know about, and we actually just discovered the other day. What happens is if you fold these seats down, you pull this little strap, which is actually really easy, and you just push it down. You see all this space here, Brian?
Yep.
It does two things. One, it gives you lots of space.
Yep.
Two, this is now CX-70.
Oh, yes.
Yep. All right, to the second row. All right, on to the second row. First off, these doors open really wide. We talked about that before. Ingress, egress, very simple. You get the peasant blockers, which is very nice. This is the Premium Plus package, so we kind of get all the goodies in here. I do love this trim. It's a very modern, artsy trim. I like it. It's just quiet and comfortable and elegant. It's very nice. Let's get in here and see what kind of room we have. The last one we had the center console in the middle. I actually like this setup better, so you can walk through easier and get to the third row if you need to. We're not going to do that, but it's back. Right now it's in CX-70 mode.
We'll have it third row.
So, but this also, you still get cup holders, you still get tri-zone climate control, USB-C, they've upgraded, and everything just feels nice. Like even this plastic chrome trim, I know it's plastic, but it feels better than all the other plastic chrome trims I usually touch. Which that's a journalist thing, who does that? But we do. And moving on to the driver's quarters, you'll notice this has got to be, Brian, is this one of the biggest doors on the market? This door is massive.
I think you're kind of nuts. I think it's just a door, but
no, it's massive. It's
this is big down here.
Right, if you look at the full effect of it, it's a really massive door, but very comfortable. Very curious though, Brian, that there's not a spot to put a phone. Where do you put your phone over there?
Oh, hang on. I'll get my wallet.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
okay. All right.
But you do have a bottle holder down there for your, not Stanley, but maybe a Hydro Flask. More on Stanley's in a minute.
Is there a Japanese Stanley?
I don't think they believe in that, but good news, Brian. Your Stanley mug would still fit right there. Bad news, only one.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, there's that. But that's because Mazda wants you to focus on driving, because we've talked about this before. Zoom's gone, but they still care about driving. All engineers, all the people that design these cars at Mazda like to drive them. And you still get that here. It's very comfortable. Let's start this bad boy up and show the people a few different things with the PHEV. And one of them is right here. It makes a lot of noise. This car makes a lot of noise. One of the things I don't like is when you stay in cruise control mode, it looks like this, and your power display goes over here, your speedometer goes in the middle, and you get all the safety stuff in the center, which I don't really, you and I don't care about.
Right, we don't care about
that.
You
hit this button, and it goes back to these really cool gauges.
Good gauges.
Good gauges. Speedometer, your power meter, and fuel gauges, and all that. That's really nice. I love that a lot. But then I hit the cruise control button, and I immediately go back to this, and so I'm constantly in cruise control, and then I lose my cool gauges. I really wish they would change that so you could just stay in this mode. We're in EV mode right now. You go to the My Drive button, and I love how simple Mazda makes this. You just toggle it, and they don't give you too many modes to play with. You go to sport mode, we'll talk about that in a minute, which that's going to be fun. Normal mode, kind of just a default mode if you want to go there. EV mode, it'll start off in EV if you hit another button. There's off-road. We're not going to really test that today, but we will say it does work. Meridian Edition would be nice.
Yes, thank you.
If you hit this button right here and you're in EV mode, what will happen is it kind of defaults to normal mode, and it will save your power down here. If it tells you charge mode canceled. I'm actually in EV mode now. We've got 23 miles of electric range, which we're saving that for 0 to 60 times.
Yes, we are.
Right? 150 miles of gas and electric range together. Hit that button again. Now we're EV mode. EV mode is canceled, and we're just going to use gas, and it kind of defaults to normal mode. The rest of that is just clean and simple designs. Controversial that this is not touch if it's not an Apple CarPlay, that sort of stuff. Also controversial that up and down, but you just hit down for both. A little confusing.
Yeah, but it is pretty.
But enough of all that. Let's do 0 to 60 and see what happens.
Let's go.
All right, Brian, we're in a Mazda, which means it's got some Zoom heritage.
Yeah, boy.
And this has got 323 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. That's no slouch.
That's a big number.
We got a lot of launch options. What's our launch option here?
Well, for the sake of entertainment, I want to do EV only mode, which means we're not getting that power, But I love this PHEV because you can make it just stay in EV only and not use gas if you want
Actually, it's really neat. And you've got it charged up. We got 21 miles of range right now, so we got plenty of EV juice. Hit it. Are you gonna hit?
That is.
Oh.
And it's shifting gears, by the way.
Okay.
One of the compliments of this is there's not a separate EV motor in the back and a gas in the front. The dynamics never change while you're driving it.
Traditional transmission that shifts, not a CVT or anything.
Right. And 60.
In the run it. It says 16.6 seconds.
Oh, that's worse than I thought it was going to be. Look,
it's like Land Cruiser numbers.
Yeah, look, that's 15.14 is the best I had without you in the car.
Okay.
And for the sake of keeping the gearheads happy, let's do a real quick gas only.
Ready.
This is the
sport mode. Oh,
there we go.
Okay.
Now the hybrid becomes a boost function like a turbo and helps the gas motor rocket to 60.
Wow, 6.99 with me in the car.
Which is 6.23 without you in the car.
6.2, wow.
Not bad, not bad. Totally respectable. And now we'll go back to EV mode and save the penguins.
So that's pretty cool, and that's actually, I think that's the beauty of this PHEV. So
yes,
you can force it to stay in EV mode, even when you're doing a hard launch. It stays in it.
Yes.
You get full control here. I love how Mazda's done that. I love how Mazda's kind of, we're not even going to do the EV option, we're going to do PHEV.
Right.
I love it because you get so much flexibility here.
Yes.
You can, if you're in town, you get up to like 28 miles range if you're full charge.
Right.
You can do a lot of errands, drive around town, full charge, done.
Right.
Or drive to work and charge because it's a smaller battery. Get a full charge.
Right, it's a 14 point something kilowatt hour. It's not this massive thing. You can do a 110 outlet and actually you don't need a level 2 for this.
No, you get home, plug it in, and when you leave the next morning, it's fully charged.
Exactly.
On 110.
Which is impressive.
Yeah.
Something else I want to talk about is like the dynamics I said on a Grand Highlander, their hybrid version, one, you can't force it to EV only. And two, it will go from gas and hybrid in the front and also another electric motor in the back, which is a clever way to do all-wheel drive.
Yeah, that's cool.
But the propulsion moves all around, and so you don't have consistent dynamics, which is something Dave Coleman is adamant about, and this rings true.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of that, and all the Mazda-ness is still here. Time to rag on the inline 6. You ready for that?
Yeah, it's time. I mean, it needs it.
Okay, last time we drove this car, we ripped on the transmission situation with the inline 6, and we were right to do so.
Yep.
I've since talked to Mazda about it, and they said we are hyper aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
And to their credit, they have upgraded the calibration in this transmission. I'm here to tell you, at least in PHEV form, I've had no significant problems with this.
It's much improved. Much improved.
Much improved to the point that it's buyable.
Yep.
The car we had last year to me was unpurchasable based on that alone.
Yep.
But we also said they're going to fix it, and they have. Now to the PHEV, same torque as the inline 6, and gives you the flexibility of the powertrain. And I think the inline 6 is kind of coarse. I don't think it's a smooth motor, which inline 6s inherently are smooth. So I'm not sure how that's happening. But the 3.3 is not my preferred motor. This is.
Which is surprising because usually we like simplicity and less complexity.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, this is not really that complex. You have a naturally aspirated 2.5 liter 4-cylinder that they put in all of their vehicles.
Tried and true, by the way.
Tried and true motor that works well, breathes well, sounds good. This thing just kind of works.
Kind of works. Look, I'm a believer. I'm a big fan of this thing.
And by the way, I drove the working back several times, and I kind of averaged, depending on how much charge I had, and I didn't charge all the way at one. But look, I was getting 55 to 60 miles per gallon in a big luxury SUV.
That's wild.
That's awesome.
That's wild. And by the way, we got criticized on that when we drove this last time too. That's the real number. If you're going to charge this at night and drive it, that's the number you get.
That's an everyday, real world number.
And by the way, you have a long highway commute too.
Yeah.
So if you're an urban driver, you'll get better than that. You may not use gas at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I think that's it.
Results will vary. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let us know if you like the CX-70, the CX-90, PHEV, inline 6. Sounds kind of good. I'll take it. Thanks for watching.